Welcome to Studio D in the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad. And now here's your host, Jessica Cootie.
Hi, everyone, and welcome inside Studio D for our final Sooner Sports Pad of this semester. Don't worry, we will be back. Here's what we've got coming up for you on tonight's show. He's been a huge part of the Sooner defense over the past 2 seasons, has 43 tackles this season. Junior linebacker Corey Nelson is here with us. He'll join us in just a little bit. Just what does it take to get Owen Field ready for Saturdays here in Norman? We'll give you an inside behind-the-scenes look at preparations for game day. And Matthew and Drew will face off about 3 of the hottest topics surrounding Oklahoma football. But first, the Sooners' Bedlam win over Oklahoma State was, well, Bedlam. It was the first ever overtime game in Bedlam football history. Another come-from-behind win for the Sooners, and another big day for Landry Jones. Very fitting, being that it was the senior quarterback's final game on Owen Field. OU would get down 14-0 in the first quarter, but here Jones finds Jalen Saunders in the end zone. That ties it all up at 17. With under 20 seconds left in the first half, check this one out. Tipped by the Cowboy defender, but Kenny Stills comes up with it. Great job by Kenny there making that play. We'd go into half tied at 24. In the third, Joseph Randall's 4th touchdown of the day puts the Cowboys up 38-27. But the defense coming up big on this drive. Aaron Colvin with a big play gets the sack. Sooners would force OSU to punt, and then this happened. Jalen Saunders making some moves, making people miss, picks up some blocks, and takes it up the sideline. 81-yard punt return for Saunders. Sooners would go for 2. Jones to Justin Brown. Got it. Ties it all back up at 38, but the Pokes just wouldn't go away. J.W. Walsh getting into the end zone gives OSU back the 45-38 lead in the 4th. But now with just under 11 seconds to go in the ballgame, on 4th and 1, Josh Heupel calling for the Belldozer. Blake Bell not only picks up the first down, but he's not going down, gets into the end zone. Sooners tie it all up at 45, and we're headed to overtime for the first time in Bedlam history. Sooner defense coming up big, holding Oklahoma State to a field goal, and then Brendan Clay takes the handoff up the middle. No way is he going down. Brendan Clay gives the Sooners the victory with an 18-yard touchdown run in overtime. A thriller for the 2nd straight week as Oklahoma wins at 51-48. Landry Jones saying there's no better way to go out than this. Jones finishing with 500 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, setting Oklahoma records for completions and attempts in the game, becoming the Big 12's all-time leader in career passing yards. Sooners couldn't be happier for their leader.
You know, when you're playing from behind, we had to throw it around there a little bit, and he was very accurate with the football, you know, getting it out of his hand quickly when they were bringing a lot of blitzes, a lot of edge pressure. So, you know, he had to make quick decisions and get it to guys, and he spread it out well, made big plays for us. You know, just another great performance by a great quarterback, and just, you know, very happy for him that, you know, one of the guys that's been very scrutinized throughout his career, but to have this be, you know, the ending to his last game as a Sooner at home, it's just, you know, feel really good for him.
Shout out to Landry. He's a great conductor out there as a quarterback. He stays calm. He knows what he's doing, and he motivates his offense, and he gets the job done. And the receivers did a great job making big catches, big plays, and the O-line did a great job picking up the blitzes.
Just one final Big 12 foe left for the Sooners this weekend. Oklahoma will head south to Fort Worth to face Big 12 newcomer TCU in one of 2 games that will decide not only the Big 12 champion, but bowl destinations. While the Sooners are very aware of what's on the line on Saturday, they're taking the treat every game the same approach as they prepare for another solid Big 12 opponent. Well, a little bit about TCU. You know, you said you've seen a little bit. What have you seen out of them?
You know, they're definitely a physical team. Their defense is pretty good, and they fly around, and they play fundamental defense, so they're pretty good.
Well, this game could come down to the Big 12 championship. Does that come into mind at all as you prepare for this game coming up this week?
Not really. You know, you got to really approach every game the same. You know, you can't really put too much emphasis on one game. You just got to really just go out there and take care of business and let the chips fall where they may.
It's like one of those things where it's kind of like we kind of put on the back burner because we want to focus and everything on TCU and not try to get ahead. But it's also one of those things where, you know, it's there on the line. So, you know, you got to work for it.
Football not the only excitement surrounding Sooner athletics this weekend. Drew Farley, Matthew Fresco is here, and they're going to get you caught up on everything else.
Yeah, a lot going on. But first, Drew, where did you spend Thanksgiving? I actually got to go back home to Texas, spend some time with the family.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was here in Oklahoma. So apparently we both suck because, well, the men's basketball team, they went to Orlando, Florida for Thanksgiving. Old Spice Classic. They took on UTEP in the first round. Things were looking good.
Miners.
Up 52-32, but then they almost blew it. The Miners cut it down to 6 with 3 minutes left. Luckily, OU believed in their smell. Yeah, if you guys get no, yeah, they did. Held on to win 68-61. Romero Osby had 16 points, 10 rebounds. That sent him to a Friday matchup against number 17 Gonzaga. The Bulldogs, they're really good. Gonzaga out-rebounded the Sooners 51-24, leading to a 72-47 loss. Osby, again leading scorer, putting up 13 points. Oklahoma would get a chance, though, to rebound, redeem itself. Third-place game Sunday against West Virginia, led by Big 12 Rookie of the Week, Ahmad Mbaye's 19 points. OU got the 77-70 win, moving on to 4-1 on the season. They will face Oral Roberts in Tulsa on Wednesday, and we had Ahmad Mbaye after the game.
Big, especially against an opponent that we're going to see in the Big 12. We're probably going to play them like 2 more times, maybe 3 in the Big 12 tournament, and just having that little edge on them is just something that feels good, and especially knowing that we started Big 12 by playing them first at their place. It's just good to know that we beat them before, so we can do it again.
Well, and that was a huge comeback, and then the women took things over.
They got to go to Hawaii. They got to go to Hawaii in the Rainbow Wahine Showdown. That's a mouthful. First match, they took on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Really the biggest challenge for the Sooners. Managed to beat them 73-70 in the first round thanks to Nicole Griffin's 19 points. And then they went on to take on the Oregon Ducks in the next round. And Erin Ellenberg just stole the show, scoring 27 points on the Ducks.
They put
up 100 total as a team. Just lights out. And then they finished with the home team, the Hawaii Warriors. And the Warriors kept it close in the first, but the Sooners would manage to pull away in the second, finishing 74-49. And this time it was behind Morgan Hooks, 16 points, and Whitney Hand, 6 rebounds. The women will be back in action this Thursday against Northwestern State right here in Norman.
So you're telling me the women are the champions of the Rainbow right now?
They're the Rainbow champions.
Yes!
That's my understanding.
Best thing to be a champion of is rainbows.
Now, the women's volleyball team, they didn't get to go to Hawaii. They had to go to Kansas. They were taking on Kansas State for the second time this season, and they had to upset them in order to get into the NCAA tournament, and they did just that thanks to Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. Sally McLaurin, her 14 kills, 6 block performance sent them to the tourney. They take on Arizona State in Provo, Utah this Friday at 6 p.m.
You know, and that's a really good draw for them going up against Arizona State in the first round. Hopefully they can ride that further in the tournament.
A lot of momentum upsetting a number 25 Kansas State.
State's a very good team.
Great job, guys. Well, coming up a little bit later, Corey Nelson is here. He'll join us in just a little bit, but right after this break, Drew and Matthew are going to face off. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm Ahmad Mbaye, and you're watching Sooner Sports Pad.
Hey, you wear this and you can hold. Can you wear this so you can hold this one? Yeah, let me hold this.
You want to hold that?
Yes.
There you go.
Dangerous.
It really is.
Check. Check. Your mic.
What about mine? Do I need it? Doing check? Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Sibilance. Sweet.
So we can both be on?
Well, I can get a lav mic. We need to mic him with the...
Time for that?
I ain't grabbed no shoes or nothing.
You know this first.
I'll buy you dinner first.
There we go.
Yeah. Who's jealous?
Stormy's.
Minute 30. Okay, now you can check his mic.
We good? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. Huh? Huh? Stay right there.
You can take this back if you want. After we. Of the Pride of Oklahoma is here with us, Zach Hedrick. It was senior day for you too on Saturday. What was it like directing the band for the final time?
For the final time in Norman, it was great. I mean, we still got 2 big games left, TCU and the bowl game, so it's going to be a lot of fun, but it was a great way to go out in Norman.
Well, I feel so powerful. You
better be careful with that.
I know, right? Okay, well, you're going to help us out with Sooner Sports Pad Face-Off. What's the first topic?
Guys, with it being senior day, which OU senior will be missed the most?
Next
question. I'm going to go Landry. First? Yeah, I'm going to go first. Okay. I'm going to go Landry Jones right off the bat. You look at how amazing this guy is in pre-snap adjustments, the movement in the pocket to get away from pressure, deliver good throws. He has 3,745 yards, 27 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. It's ridiculous the amount of scrutiny he gets. He's a top 3 quarterback in the nation. Well, all those Landry haters, when he leaves, are going to get a rude awakening. It's no offense to Allen or Bell, but it's a very complex offense, and they can't run the offense like Landry does.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with this year's Donkey Award winner and David King. Yeah, no, it's not the most popular position at defensive end, but when you look at it, David leads a massive group of defensive linemen who are moving on next year. And what happens when 5 guys in your starting 6 are gone? We don't know. I think they're going to definitely miss David's leadership on the field and off the field and the presence he had along that defensive line.
A lot of good seniors leaving.
Okay, second topic.
Guys, Landry has amassed video game-like stats over his career. Is Landry the best QB in Big 12 history?
He's going to give them to you, too.
Matthew?
Yes. No, yes, he is. And you look, he's number 1 in everything. He's first in Big 12 in yards and passing yards, 16,124. 16,124. That's a mind bomb right there. 120 touchdowns to 50 interceptions. He's 38-10, 3-0 in bowl games, and the only quarterback in OU history to go 3-0 versus Texas as a starter.
Fantastic. Look, I'm not here to downplay Landry. He definitely has all of the best stats. He's been here for a long time. He's been playing a long time. But let's be honest, Sam was the guy, and Sam still is the guy here in Norman. If he came back into town right now and you had to pick between Sam and Landry, everybody's picking Landry. It's not, or everybody's picking Sam. It's not just because he's more popular. It's because he really was just a better quarterback. No offense to Landry.
Okay, final topic.
Sorry, I love Landry.
Guys, what was your favorite touchdown from Bedlam this year?
Great question.
All right, there's a lot of good touchdowns. So I'm going to go with the Jalen Saunders punt punt return. It's 38-30. OU hasn't had the lead yet, and then all of a sudden we come out here. Every single time we score, OSU decks us right back in the face, then this happens. And then you look at it, he catches it, he just stands there for a second. OSU player flying him. Then he decides to sidestep and finally decides to run, wiggles through a little hole, makes another good cut. He was absolutely on with the Jets. Blocks. That place went crazy. Momentum. It was a momentum-changing play, and momentum it rules all, really.
Look, absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with you. This was a momentum-changing play, but for my favorite touchdown, goes back to a guy we had in here last week, Blake Bell. The Belldozer, with 4 or 5 seconds left in the game, it's a 4th down conversion, a touchdown, and if he doesn't get in, the Sooners lose this football game. Instead, Belldozer drives through 2 guys, jumps over another guy, gets in the end zone, sends the game to overtime, where the Sooners got a victory.
I would like to change my answer to the overtime touchdown, because I think that means I'll win.
You can't do that. Okay, Zach, great job. I'm going to give you the honors of asking the audience.
Guys, who won?
No, did Drew win?
Oh, does Drew?
Who thought Drew won?
Who thought Drew won?
All right, who's calling Matthew?
Yeah, I got a mic. I'm louder.
I'm giving it to Drew. Drew. 2 weeks in a row, and I'm giving you back that.
I'm going to hold you.
Okay, it's time now for our Sooner Sports Pad Play of the Week, and no surprise whatsoever here. It's Brennan Clay's go-ahead touchdown score in overtime to give Sooners the victory in Bedlam. Let's let Brennan and Gabe Eichert break this one down for you.
The O-line did a great job. Trey came backside, cut the DN off. Gabe and Adam Shedd did a great job. Bronson just scooping on their men. And they just parted the ways like the Red Sea, and I just hit the hole. Safety came down, made a miss, broke a tackle. The other safety came in, ran through him, got in the end zone.
Just a great individual effort by Brennan. We've been running that inside zone play the entire game, letting him cut it back behind Shetty. So just something we'd been doing all game. He made a good cut. Cut it right behind my butt and just made a couple of guys miss, and he fell in that end zone, and I just was so happy.
Brennan Clay, your Sooner Sports Pad Play of the Week. Now it's time for Tweet of the Week.
Tweet of the Week.
Coming from Tyler Vandiver. Tyler_Vandiver. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Hurdling a couch plus jumping on your grandma equals #Bedlam victory. #Boomer. Great tweet of the week. All right, coming up next, we'll give you an inside look at what it takes to get the Owen Field ready on Saturdays. Actually, Zach gives you a behind-the-scenes look. And coming up a little bit later, Corey Nelson is here in studio.
Sooner Sports Pad, the Chuck Taylors of sports shows.
I'll get it next break. So we're not going to clap.
No clapping. No clapping.
Special thanks to our television cornerstone partners, Chesapeake Energy, WinStar World Resorts, OU Outreach, OU Presidents Associates, and the OU Alumni Association.
Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. Well, there's nothing like the game day atmosphere in Norman. Without this particular group, the football season just wouldn't be the same. Zach Hedrick goes between the lines with the football grounds crew.
Some of the greatest ever in college football have taken this field. OU football has called Owen Field home since 1923, but without its hardworking grounds crew, it would be just another football field. Long before the crew paints the field for game day, the prep work begins in May and June and continues all through the summer so the field is ready for the punishment it receives during the fall.
Our staff's very dedicated in the fact that we're outside when it's 110, but we're also outside when it's minus 20.
On a typical game week, the crew will begin painting the field on Tuesday, painting the numbers, yard lines, and hashes, adding a second coat on Thursday. Wednesdays and Fridays include painting the end zone and interlocking OU, always starting in the south and working around to the north.
It's the same process every week. You know, we'll start with the south end zone and work our way around. I don't know if it's so much superstition. It's just it just seems to flow a little easier when we do that.
The crew estimates that each paint day lasts 5 to 6 hours, but through all the hard work and long hours, the team enjoys working on this famed field and seeing the final result of their efforts.
This is God's grass. It's cool to know that, you know, you had a part in doing that. I mean, I think the best part's about Friday at 3 o'clock because all the work's done. It hadn't been played on yet, so it's like untouched, just perfect.
When the football season is over and the stadium is vacant for 8 long months, the grounds crew will be here, preparing OU's hallowed ground for another.
That was Zach Hedrick reporting. Thank you for that. Senior drum major of the Pride of Oklahoma. All right, coming up right after this, Corey Nelson is here. He's going to join us here in Studio D. We'll be right back. Coming up right after this break, I promise.
He was 6'9".
What did he stand?
He just stood, They put me on a box and he still was like.
Give a mic check, just talk.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
Just keep talking, we'll talk.
Mic check. Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
This semester.
Keep going.
Communication classes. Yeah, a lot of communication.
Yeah, I'm good check.
Communication.
Dude, I don't know, because who was the flip?
Oh, yeah.
With like ethnic communication.
I'm James Fischilla, and you're watching Sooner Sports Pad.
It just never gets old seeing him drain that shot. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. Well, he's recorded 43 tackles this season, has been a huge part of the Sooner defense over the past 2 seasons, starting 20 out of 24 games over the past couple of seasons. Junior linebacker Corey Nelson is here in studio. He's with Drew and Matthew.
Well, I don't think Corey even knew that. He was like, oh my
God.
that
surprised me.
Thank you for joining us in studio today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They said it, 20 out of 24 games. The Big 12 is getting hard because there's lots of explosive offenses, probably the best in the nation. What's the mindset like as a defensive player when you got to play guys like Tavon Austin and Joseph Randle in back-to-back weeks?
Ooh, man, the mindset is just to go out there and to try to stop them the best way you can. I mean, those guys are going to make plays, and you just have to contain them. That's the type of mindset that we have as a defense going into the games that we play.
Now, you guys are, play the Cowboys this last weekend. It's really intense. Goes into overtime. What was going on in the huddle right before you guys headed out for that overtime defensive stand?
Ooh, we were like, we have to stop him. It's loud. So we're like, we have to stop him right here. Whether it's a field goal or we stop him on 4th down, we have to stop him. So it was real intense. We just we just decided that we had to stop him, and the intensity that was out there, the mindset that we had to have, we just had to stop him.
So you guys did manage to stop them, held them to a field goal, then the offense goes out and does their job. Brennan gets in the end zone, and the bench is empty. Talk about the experience you had celebrating the win on the field immediately after the score.
That was a blessing. One of the best experiences I ever had since I've been at OU. And just to experience that, it's exhilarating. It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful emotion that comes out of you. My heart just dropped when I found out that we won. We went crazy. You just don't know what to do in that time. You just kind of just cherish it and embrace it. So that's what we did.
Now, this next weekend, you guys are heading down to TCU for the first time. Big 12 championship could be on the line. What does TCU do different offensively than some of the other teams you faced this season?
They use their quarterback a whole lot more. Just watching film on them, their quarterback's very elusive. He gets out of the pocket a lot, and he likes to run and scramble and make plays. That'll be one of the big key differences that we'll experience going into this game.
Okay, so this year Mike comes in as the new defensive coordinators. You've been here for a couple years behind Travis Lewis and learning from Brent Venables. How different is Mike's defense, and has it been hard for your position in particular with all the change?
It's very different. When you play with Coach V's defense, we have a lot of zone. We run with a lot of zone. We play a lot of zone. But with Mike Stoops, it's a lot of man, and you have to be more patient. And it's a big difference. It's a big transition. But as the season went on, I was able to feel comfortable, and the defense as a whole was able to get comfortable with the way he was coaching us.
All right, now I think we have an audience question with Miss Jessica.
Yes, Jessica has a question for Corey.
I do, Corey. I want to know if you could play in any bowl game, which one would that be and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Man, I always wanted to go back to Miami, Florida. So I wanted to play in the Orange Bowl if I could. That'll probably be the bowl game because I'd love to go to Miami.
Yeah, awesome. I'd go Orange Bowl.
Okay, well, it's time now for fresh quest for victory. After skipping out last week, Matthew is back. Drew failed to get a win for Matthew.
Give me one job. It's like you got one job, make the field goal.
So we're going to see if Matthew can get back in the win column tonight against Corey.
All right, so this is what we're going to do.
I doubt it, though.
I'm kind of nervous.
What's the challenge?
I'm kind of nervous.
Man. All right, so we got washers here. Basically, you throw these little discs. If it gets in the box, it's a point. If it gets in the cup, it's 3. If you miss, you just suck, and it doesn't count.
All right, cool.
Doesn't matter. We're both going to suck, so here you go. Okay, we'll stand behind that line. You want blue or red?
I'll take blue. No, I'll take red. I'm representing OU.
I was going to say, I was like, he almost representing OU. All right, we'll let you go first. We'll just alternate throws here.
Okay.
So Drew's got to keep count.
I got to flick the wrist. It's all in the wrist.
Go, Corey. You got this.
There you go. And
oh! I love it. I love it.
Right,
I love it. Here we go. Nice. That's
got one in.
That's point.
1-0 after round 1.
I'm not gentle, man.
No, you're not,
too
man.
Strong.
Oh, I thought I was going to hop in. There's a strong
1-0
tailwind in here. I don't know if you know.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. I see you. I see you, and I raise you 3. Oh!
2-1 after 3.
I got to get 3.
3 or 4.
Yes!
Oh! Good. All right, we're going to get a couple more shots after this to make it fair here. There you go. Okay.
You're beating me.
3-1.
Okay, here's
that.
Oh, man.
Corey's first time ever to play this game.
Yeah,
so
we might just take 2 shots here.
Here we go.
Okay, 2 shots.
3-1 me.
3-1.
2 shots. You go now.
Okay.
Just like Bedlam, Corey.
Okay.
Just like
Come from behind win. Come from behind win. Let's hear it.
Double the stakes.
I should be done right now. I should be going home. So sad. 4-1.
Okay.
I'm running away with this one.
Oh, no, it's a tie.
Nice job, man.
Great
Nice
job.
job.
All right, well, it's a busy week in the world of Sooner athletics. Here's what we've got coming up this week on Sooner Sports TV. The OU women's basketball team hosts Northwestern State at Thursday at 7 o'clock. The men's basketball team will also host Northwestern State. That game will tip off at 7 on Friday. Women's basketball back in action against Marist on 2 o'clock on Sunday, and you can catch Sooner wrestling against Binghamton, tape delayed at 7 o'clock on Sunday. Also, be sure to check us out on Sooner Sports Game Day at 10 a.m. on Saturday before the Sooners kick off at TCU. That's all the time we have here on Sooner Sports Pad. Thanks again to Corey for joining us. We'll see you in February, Sooners.